And this is a 13-step process. These are all the basic building blocks of a transaction. So we start by meeting, obviously, meet with us, our team, and we discuss what we do, and we get hired. And then immediately we're going into home staging consultations. So it's really important to make the house look as beautiful as possible. I mean, unless your strategy is just to get out from under a house, or if you happen to be having a property in a great neighborhood and it's an older home that needs a lot of repair, or that you think somebody might just scrape and build another house and you're really selling it for lot value. But short of that scenario, staging and doing just a few things to make a home stand out, especially online, is super important. So this home staging consult and make ready, I think, is part of our secret sauce. We do that very well. I have a great stager that we work with, and I also have a team of painters and contractors and everyone to make things just simplify the process. So once the house is ready, we do professional photography, and also when we have a case where there's a home where you want to just showcase the lot and the surroundings, we'll also do some aerial video, and then put together a video tour, a hosted video tour that we use for our marketing. So we take all the photos, get everything ready. Right before we go on the market, we finalize the price, because the price, you can have the most beautiful home in the world. If it's overpriced, it's going to sit on the market. So even in this extreme seller's market that we're in, getting the price right is important. So we finalize the price. We're looking at that as we go along, and then we get the home in the MLS and get it exposed to the market. So that's when our personalized marketing plans kick in. Previous to going on the market, we send out letters to the neighbors. We're just wanting to let everyone know that we're getting ready and trying to generate excitement about the home coming to market. And other things we do, we prepare social posts. We put the word out to the brokerage community. We look for agents who are bringing buyers to the area where the house is located, and we're making calls and reaching out to let them know. So rather than just putting a home in the MLS and, praying that somebody sees it, we're actually out trying to find the target audience for the property. And then we begin showing, and as people are comfortable, I think people are starting to get more comfortable as things are opening back up with in-person open houses. We also do virtual open houses as well, just a general walkthrough, and use that as marketing. And then if we've priced it right and done all of this properly, we get offers, usually more than one. So the other thing I feel like we do really well is that we are able to guide our sellers through a multiple offer situation. There is strategy to it. You have to really be careful about who's making offers, and making sure you vet them and make sure that they're able to be a strong buyer. And you want to pick the strongest buyer, and you want to also negotiate the very best terms among the terms that you've received from the various offers. So we sort through that and try to do it kindly with all the buyers that are waiting to purchase the home. And then we get under contract, and the best thing we can do is put the main contract in place, and also get a backup contract in place, so that if the first contract we can't come to terms on something like repairs, then we have someone back behind there ready to go, so we can continue toward closing. Then we send the contract over to the title company, and then the process of contract, what we call contract to close, finishes. That's a little real estate jargon, because there's definitely a 30 to 45 day period in between getting the contract and closing the transaction, where inspections are done, repairs may be negotiated, and then we get to appraisal, which is, again, I'm tying this back, I will say it 100 times, pricing the property properly is important. Because, and when we price the property, I'm super open about it. It's like, if there was several properties this year that, because the sales had been low, there weren't comps for these beautiful properties that deserved to sell for a very high price, and they both did. But we had to work through appraisal. In one case, we had the buyers, it was multiple offers, and the buyers offered a very overly inflated price for the home. So in order to accept that offer, we made sure we had them sign a waiver of appraisal, so that however it appraised, it didn't matter. They would come to the table and close, and if there was money that needed to be made up, they would make it up. So that one allowed that one to close and set a record over in Circle C. And then the other, situation was later in the year over in Rimrock. We had a home that just simply weren't any comps, and we did get an over asking offer, and actually it did appraise. So that's the other piece, is that when we do have an appraisal, I always meet the appraiser. First of all, because I always learn something. Their jobs are very, very, very specific and detailed in how they report back to lenders on the values of the home that's going to be purchased. And it's very important that we give all the information we can to the appraiser that helped us build the price. So that's just, I had one property not appraised maybe in my second year of real estate, and it was when we were coming out of the recession, and it was happening a lot, where the market's moving up, but appraisers can only look back in history. They can't, there's nothing in their reporting or the way they calculate their appraisal that allows you to accommodate a rising market. So we were 20K below our contract price, and the deal fell apart. So ever since then, Julie goes and meets the appraiser, and we talk through everything, and they, anyway, I could go on and on about appraisal, and I just have. So thank you for bearing with me. So once we get through appraisal, really the seller and buyer are kind of home free. We're waiting for the lender. If there was a lender if the buyer was using a lender, they have to get all their documents ready. We do a final walkthrough of the property, the buyer does, to make sure that any repairs that were promised were made. Sometimes it's just pretty ceremonial. They just want to walk through it before they sign papers. And then we all go to closing. So that is the process. And it's the process really for the $200,000 house. It's the process for the $2 million house. And the key for us is making this process seamless and just as pleasant as possible for the sellers, because we take a real consultative approach to this process, so that everyone feels supported and that they have good information and they're making good decisions.